All right, everyone, settle in, because you are about to witness one of the most satisfying reality checks ever televised on British morning TV. We've got Don Daniels here, a proper grafter, a bricklayer, a man who actually builds this country, sitting across from the typical liberal establishment apologist. Don went viral for saying what every single tax-paying patriot has been screaming at their television sets for years. Britain has become a soft touch. We are subsidising laziness. What you're going to see is the clash between the real world, where you don't eat if you don't work, and the Westminster bubble, where excuses are the currency of the realm. Watch how the Labour activist Susie Stride tries to gaslight a man who is literally on the ground offering jobs to people who refuse them. It is absolutely infuriating, but Don holds the line like a champion. Let's roll a tape.
You might have heard that the government is now warning young people that they will lose their benefits if they turn down work in a new scheme that's aimed at reducing youth unemployment. This comes after Rachel Reeves asked ordinary people to pay a little bit more, with £26 billion worth of tax rises in her budget.
Someone who was left frustrated by the budget is bricklayer Don Daniels. He went on viral on social media with this post, which has the caption. He's standing there in the sleet. "Some days I want to give up, but there's people on benefits depending on me." He also posted this video last week as a follow-up.
You people that do not work, are you not embarrassed? Are you not embarrassed that you're walking around streets and everybody knows that you're broke and you don't work and you're relying on benefits to get by? These people should be forced to do 2 days a week, voluntary, litter picking, cleaning graffiti off of walls, anything like that. And if they don't receive a penny.
Well, what do you think? Do you think he's right? Are we living in benefits Britain? Are too many people simply too lazy to work because benefits are too easy to get? Don Daniels is, as you can see, with us now, alongside a former prospective parliamentary candidate for Labour, Susie Stride, who says that we risk demonising benefit claimants and that most people genuinely want to work and would rather not be on benefits. Talk to you in a second, Susie. But, well, you've stuck your head above the parapet, haven't you?
I did. Good morning.
And good morning. You've had a lot of praise for it. You've had a lot of abuse as well, haven't you?
That's correct.
Yeah.
A lot of praise, a lot of abuse.
Do you regret doing it?
I don't, not at all.
No.
The people that have come out of the woodwork speaking now because somebody's had a voice and spoke about it is remarkable. There's not just me thinking it, the whole country's thinking the same. How
long had you had this fundamental view that there are too many people who are simply claiming benefits because it's easier than going to work?
Years. I believe everybody's felt the same for absolutely years. It's lazy. Britain in general, they're very lazy people.
Have you ever been on benefits?
I've needed it. I've had a car accident when I was younger and I needed the benefits. That's what it should be for, because I needed it at the time.
So what would you...
Straight back into work when I was able to.
Susanna read the very funny caption that you put out alongside that picture of yourself looking heroic on the site. And then we saw you on TikTok. What would you say now to somebody who's on benefits who, in your opinion, could actually go to work? What message would you give them? I
just want to motivate them to get to work. The things that you can do by going to work is unbelievable. Holidays, huge holidays to Thailand and Brazil and Australia. You can't do that when you're on benefits. You simply cannot. It's motivation. You can't go and buy a car on finance. You can't buy a house. You can't do a lot of things in life if you're not working. You need to work and contribute to the country.
Don, was there something about the budget that really got you motivated to do? Was that like a tipping point for
100%,
you?
because
Right.
I voted Labour. I put my hands up and a lot of people said you're brave to say that you voted Labour, but I voted for them because they promised not to raise any taxes. I know we've had problems with the Conservatives in the past, but this was supposed to be a fresh start and they just lied to get into power, and it's...
Wow, OK, so you are a Labour voter from the last general election.
Yes.
And now you feel like you've been lied to?
Yes.
Because of the tax increases?
100%. They've lied to get into power, and I think it's wrong.
And when Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Conservatives, who I know has invited you, hasn't she, for a meeting this week?
That's correct.
When she stood up in the House of Commons and said, this is all about Benefit Street, people being paid to be on Benefit Street by people who are actually working, did that resonate with you?
It did, yes, 100%.
So do you think that she could persuade you to vote Conservative again?
I do like some of the policies she's bringing forward. I really do.
Susie, the thing is here, this is a walking, talking example of someone who takes it personally, who works very hard, works extremely long hours, pays their taxes, pays their national insurance, pays every penny, and deeply resents seeing that money going to people who, in their opinion, and we know that there are work-shy people, and there are people who shouldn't be on benefits, you claim them, deeply resents having his hard-earned money going to support those people.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all probably agree here that there are people, a section of people in this country that are claiming benefits and they shouldn't be claiming benefits. We know that's there. That is a problem. We need to tackle it. The thing that I want to take up here is why on earth you would talk to Kerry Badenoch and the Tories. They were in for 14 years. This is their mess. I spent 15 years of my life working with young people from poor backgrounds, helping to get them into work. Back when Labour were in government, we had the Future Jobs Fund, we had youth inclusion programmes, we had an apprenticeship programme. The Tories came in...
It's the fact Labour have lied.
Stop the tape right there. Look at the absolute panic in her eyes. This is the classic socialist playbook in action. You have a working-class man, the exact demographic Labour claims to represent, looking her in the eye and saying, "You lied to me. You promised no tax rises on working people and you fleeced us the second you got the keys to number 10. And what is her response? It's the same tired, broken record. Oh, it's the Tory fault. It's the last 14 years. Give me a break. People like Don aren't interested in historical reenactments of the Cameron or Johnson years. They are looking at their pay slips today. They are looking at the £26 billion Rachel Reeves is sucking out of the economy to funnel into a bloated welfare state and public sector non-jobs. Susie here represents that NGO industrial complex, the people who make a living managing decline rather than fixing it. She talks about future jobs funds and youth inclusion programmes. We don't need more government schemes with fancy names that cost millions and achieve nothing. We need a culture shift. Don is hitting on the fundamental betrayal here. The social contract is broken. Why should a bricklayer break his back in the freezing sleet to fund the lifestyle of someone who thinks manual labour is beneath them? Labour hates this conversation because it exposes their new base. They aren't the party of the worker anymore. They're the party of the welfare recipient and the public sector bureaucrat. Don has realised he's been taken for a ride, and frankly, so has half the country.
Now, the Tories came in and they scrapped all of those programmes. We have 1 million young people unemployed. There is no way that is because of us being in for a year and a half. That is a problem that has gone on for years, for over a decade.
But Labour have lied to get into it.
They created that problem. And what have we announced? What have we announced? We've announced that we are going to massively fund a future jobs fund now for young people to get them off benefits and get them into work. And we actually are being tough.
Susie, what do you... And I'm sure Don would acknowledge, and he's got his own criticisms of the Conservative Party, highest tax burden, generation. But what do you make of Don's complaint that the manifesto said no tax rises on working people like Don, and the budget raised taxes, £26 billion worth of taxes?
Yeah, I mean, look, is this a perfect budget? No. Are we in a perfect situation? No. I always say this is a great country, best country in the world, but it's going to take time to turn the ship around. After 10 years of them devastating, cutting back, house building...
If Labour have lied within the first year to get into power, then why should we trust them to lead this country for 10 years? They've lied instantly, straight away.
See, I would not say that we've lied. I would say that we've inherited a massive mess.
Well, you're not going to agree on that. What about this figure? I'd like to know both of your opinions on this. It's generally accepted that a working couple with 3 children would have to earn a minimum of £71,000 to be at the same level of income as parents just like them with 3 children who are on benefits. That the benefits are worth that much to a couple with 3 children. And if you're a working couple, you have to earn 71 grand to draw level with them.
This was an assessment by a group called the Centre for Social Justice.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Played football with Ian Duncan Smith a number of times. He's a great footballer. But anyway,
So is it a Conservative think tank?
It is a more right-wing think tank, but let's be honest, we've got to make it so that work pays. We've got to make it so that people, want to work. And just to say, listen, it is a scar, I would say, on this nation that we are leaving 1 million young people on the scrap heap of life. We're better than that as a country. We want to tap into their potential, and the Tories didn't. But
what do you make of that figure, £71,000?
I believe if these young people wanted to work, they would get out there and they would find work. There's work out there. They just don't want to. They don't want the work, and plus they are being rewarded for sat at home. There's a lot of people, if they go to work, they're better off sat at home, and that is a fact. I'm
sorry, but that's not been my experience. As I say, I spent 15 years of my life working with these young people. I've worked with young people that are desperate for work, and they've not been able to access it. 1 million young people aren't all sitting at home saying, "Oh, we want to be lazy."
Can I just say something? I get contacted. I employ people. I get contacted by a lot of people, and the first thing they said to me is it cash in hand?" And I say to them, "Oh, no, it's not cash in hand. It's a proper job." But I say, "Right, I can't do it then." So why? Because
and down goes the water. Over goes the water.
I can't do it because I've got benefits. I've got my housing bills to pay. So these people, they don't want the work.
So in their view, work does not pay.
It doesn't pay.
It's better for them to be on benefits than to accept the job that you're offering.
For somebody to say to me, "Is it cash in hand?" and then turn around and say, "Right, I don't want the job."
Yeah.
What does that tell you about the country?
Boom. There it is. The smoking gun. Is it cash in hand? If that doesn't make your blood boil, you aren't paying attention. This destroys the entire left-wing narrative that the unemployed are just these tragic victims of circumstance, desperate for a chance, but held back by a cruel system. Don is literally handing them a lifeline, a proper job with a wage, and they turn it down because it interferes with their benefits. They want the taxpayer subsidies plus the tax-free cash on the side. It is the definition of having your cake and eating it while the rest of us pay for the bakery. And listen to the stats Richard threw out earlier. You need to earn £71,000 a year to match the lifestyle of a jobless couple with 3 kids on benefits. That is insane. That is the death of ambition. We have created a system where the state is the best employer in town, and the only requirement is that you do absolutely nothing. Why would anyone strive? Why would anyone take a risk? Susie's reaction to this anecdote is to stick her head in the sand. She says, "That's not my experience." Well, of course it isn't, Susie. You operate in the think tanks and committee meetings. Don operates on building sites. He is seeing the moral rot of this country up close. We have a generation that feels entitled to other people's money. When he says the country is lazy, he isn't being mean, he's being observant. We are importing millions of people to do the jobs our own youth refuse to do because the welfare safety net has turned into a hammock. It's a national disgrace.
But can I just say something? Look, it's going to take a few years. You don't turn things around like that. But I guarantee you, 100%, under this Labour government, we are going to see young people getting into work. We're going to see people that...
Well, it sounds like Don's offering jobs to those young people.
I want the young people to work. That is what I want to see.
Don, I just want to ask you, because Susie says she can't believe that you're even interested in the Conservatives. I mean, the obvious alternative... from Susie seems to be your disillusion with Labour. She's got criticisms of Conservatives.
Nobody's ever going to vote Labour again. They are finished. They are done. I believe nobody's. If they have a reform or Conservative, they are the two, and that is it.
Yeah. Wow. Can I just say, short-term memory here. 10 years of a Conservative government. Waiting lists on the NHS went up, sewage in our rivers, like 1 million young people, 1 million young people unemployed. That is a Tory legacy. We've been in for 1 year, we're turning it around. We're going to transform the country for the better.
We're out of it. Thank you both very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Are you thinking of standing for Parliament yourself?
How much are they paying?
It's not cash in hand.
Sorry about the glass of water.
No problem. A Department for Work and Pension spokesman says it pays more to be in work than on benefits, which is why they say they're taking action to tackle ill health in the workplace, investing £1 billion to help sick and disabled people into good, secure jobs and partnering with employers to help people stay in work. They're also addressing the cost of living by increasing the national minimum wage and taking £150 off energy bills from April. I'm not sure Don will be convinced by any of that.
No.
Not all.
Not at all.
Not all.
You saw it at the end there. Don said it plain as day. Labour is finished. And he's right. When you lose the guys in high-vis jackets, you have lost the country. He's talking about reform or the Conservatives because he realises that we need a party that actually believes in work, personal responsibility and borders, not one that wants to tax us into oblivion to pay for a benefits Britain. It's refreshing to see someone cut through the waffle and just speak the truth. The system is rigged against the grafter and in favour of the grifter. Until we have a government brave enough to slash those handouts and force people back to reality, nothing changes. So, here is my question for you guys. If you found out your neighbour was on full benefits but turning down work unless it was cash in hand, would you report them? Or is the system so broken that you can't even blame them for gaming it? Let me know in the comments.